Apply concepts applicable to real-life classroom or online situations, and to enhance the kind of pedagogical and technological skills needed, we're nurturing active student engagement. So if you could recall the 2 years that we have been inside the cyberspace, as we all know, we have enhanced ourselves with many applications to make the learning of our students, despite the challenges and the hardship we endured during this pandemic. As we look back and look forward towards the developments that we are gaining as educators, congratulations, we have survived. But as we all know, we should still equip ourselves to continue applying those experiences to make our students and our classroom, whether in a face-to-face situation, blended or hybrid setup, in which our students would be able to cherish the experiences that we will share to them as their teachers. As part of it, I would like to ask, what are the reasons on why they became a teacher? In these times, many teachers are switching careers. Some are thinking twice if they could still continue to be a teacher. If we have that throwback, why I became a teacher. You became a teacher, probably you were influenced by your former teachers or a former teacher who you idolize. There are so many teachers who have influenced our lives, changed our thinking about our career choices, and give us many things in which we are enjoying now. Second, you might be wanting to be an engineer, an accountant, or a doctor, but sometimes because of poverty, as they say, the education course is the cheapest, but it is probably the hardest of all careers. There's no other choice. Sometimes it's the choice of the people who are sponsoring you. And if you're going to recall the time you were falling in line during those long queues of lines in which you would like to be in the near future, the line during the enrollment is short. So as they say, there are few people who took courses like this and that. But apparently, education nowadays, as a course, is a easy way to be employed as an educator. Fourth, it's more easier to land a job. Being an engineer, a doctor, an accountant is really a hard job. As they say, madali lang naman maging teacher. But it's just not being madali, being a teacher. Being a teacher is a hard life of so many deadlines, paperwork, and job hopping towards being from teacher one up to the position of being a principal or in a private school. You have to pass the licensure examination for teachers in order to land that job. Go to the interview, have your medical, and so many requirements that we need to be inside the classroom and be called an educator or a classroom teacher. Sponsor asked you to take it. Probably some of you were able to finish your schooling because there's somebody who will sponsor you or pay your enrollment during those times that you would like to be a teacher. As we recall, during those times, nowadays, we are living in a VUCA world. VUCA, which means volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Volatility, since there's so many uncertain things, so many private schools in particular closed because of the effect, particularly on the financial aspects of the school owners. Teachers who were formerly inside the classroom became delivery drivers. Teachers became sellers of knowledge. Some converted into tutors or other transferred into other careers to continue feeding their family. The complex things that affects our daily lives really changed the educational landscape. Now, we used to go every day during our classes, have your time in your body clock or whatever technology your school is using. But nowadays, before you enter the classroom, you have to take your you, your temperature, a health checklist, including your students. And the times have been very, very ambiguous. People now, most especially the teachers, are thinking if it's really viable to be a teacher with so many things to be accomplished and the low enrollment, most especially in the private school, whereas our counterpart teachers in the public school has so many, many things to be accomplished, from paperwork to being this and that. That's why our DepEd secretary has already have her pronouncement that extracurricular activities must temporarily come to stop to focus on the teaching aspects of the teacher. But sometimes teachers are being bothered in the public school system with so many auxiliary works, being a coordinator, being an assistant, being this and that. So nowadays, being a teacher is really hard and difficult. There are also issues on how to deal with the demands of the parents, issues on mental health, and other things that surrounds our teaching profession. As we all know, it's not just money that propel our teachers to be teachers. There was a study done by the Department of Education wherein, based on the study, the respondents are as follows. Teachers from three major island groupings such as Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, teachers from different school categories, both the public and the private schools. The setup is either private schools located in urban and rural setting. The same with the public school respondents. Teachers handling different contexts such as the monograde or teacher handling only one section, and multi-grade teachers who handle two or more sections. And they also have teaching other subjects. Teachers of alternative learning schools or the ALS and the madrasa schools or the school in the some parts of the Philippines, particularly in Mindanao, where the core emphasis are on Islamic studies and Arabic literacy. We also have respondents who are teachers from different locale. We have the urban setting, rural setting, the mountainous areas, and the coastal areas, and conflict areas. There are also teachers handling different grade levels, teaching positions, and subject areas. Teachers with non-education backgrounds, those who did not graduate with education degree, but choose to be a teacher by taking up the licensure examination. And there are also the demographics of teachers with different tenures, from teaching 1 year as a novice teacher to an experienced teacher for 30 years. The study conducted showed the following results. There are three reasons why teachers teach, and these are the motivations. First of all, teachers teach because it's their passion. It is a rewarding feeling of being able to change or to touch the future. The students, who is our clients, which give us much happiness whenever we see them happy and we interact with them. Second, since teaching is a profession, or so-called the noblest profession, teachers became teachers because of the employability and for job security. For the public school, many have been able to secure their job security upon completing the tenure of their teaching profession. Unlike in the private school, you have to at least be employed for at least 2 to 3 years. Some still have 4 or 5 years to pass the licensure exam to secure the benefits as a regular faculty member. And lastly, teachers teach because they would like to be promoted. A question is, you don't want to be promoted. Everybody would like to be promoted since you are giving everything that you have, sometimes shelling out or doling out your personal money to teachers. There was a study done by the Department of Education wherein, based on the study, the respondents are as follows. Teachers from three major island groupings such as Luzon, Visayas, and adults, we are not here to take what is easy and the coastal areas and conflict areas. There are also teachers handling different grade levels, teaching positions and subject areas. Teachers with non-education backgrounds, those who did not graduate with education degree, but choose to be a teacher by taking up the licensure examination. And there are also the demographics of teachers with different tenures, from teaching 1 year as a novice teacher to an experienced teacher for 30 years. The study conducted showed the following results. There are three reasons why teachers teach, and these are the motivations. First of all, teachers teach because it's their passion. It is a rewarding feeling of being able to change or to touch the future. The students, who is our clients, which give us much happiness whenever we see them happy and we interact with them. Second, since teaching is a profession, or so-called the noblest profession, teachers became teachers because of the employability and for job security. For the public school, many have been able to secure their job security upon completing the tenure of their teaching profession. Unlike in the private school, you have to at least be employed for at least 2 to 3 years. Some still have 4 or 5 years to pass the licensure exam to secure the benefits as a regular faculty member. And lastly, teachers teach because they would like to be promoted. A question is, you don't want to be promoted, everybody would like to be promoted since you are giving everything that you have, sometimes shelling out or doling out your personal money to make your classroom good or buying the food. That's why teachers are experts in, as they say, the don't dito. Because teachers would like to give the best to their students. They are also aspiring for awards because the best feeling for everybody is to be appreciated and recognized. So that's why I was discussing this. We are currently celebrating the Teachers Month celebration. So it started from September 5 up to the culminating activity to October 5. So happy Teachers Month to all the fellow teachers who are watching me and this video, courtesy of CCTCFT of Sir Jason Santalan. As we continue with our discussion, you might see our students as branded as there's what we call the teacher cutie or crush teacher, who is a beautiful or handsome teacher who always been called as a crush of students. Teacher papakilig, as they would always say. There's also what we call the teacher disciplinarian. So these are the masungit teachers. We also have the teacher encyclopedia or teacher trivia quiz, no? The teacher know-it-all. And experienced teachers, sometimes called the oldies but goodies, no? I have met so many teachers who are 60 years old above, who are still very active and continually transforming the lives of the students under their care. So if you can relate, who do you think you are? Are you a teacher cutie? Most especially the millennial students that would like to see their teachers doing TikTok or or any other things that would make their students appreciate their lessons, or yung the teacher disciplinarian, the teacher know-it-all, or the all this but goodies. As teachers, there's so many expectations from the society. So with the teachers, professional board conduct or ethics, there's the professional code. So we should be able to follow the contents of this, especially first is implementing behavioral guidelines. So we will be the classroom manager of our class. We should be able to instill discipline to our students and give them the best care under us. We are also there to assign homework, follow-up activities, and giving tests. So as you could see the results of the various international examinations, Filipino learners are lagging behind other countries, most especially the sciences, the mathematics, literacy. Philippines may have a high literacy rate around 95 to 97%, but apparently if you are going to give tests to the students, most of them has problems with comprehension, spelling, pronunciation, and appreciation of literature and other literary works being studied during their classes, either in Filipino or in English or other mother tongue-based languages. We are also there to develop instructional materials and to implement innovative tools guided by teaching philosophies. So as we go back to your college and masters, including the doctorate, you'll be there to encounter realism, naturalism, Piaget. So you should be able to apply, to understand how students will be able to learn better the tools that you're going to develop and other instructional materials such as syllabus, the curriculum guide, or any instructional materials. But do remember always, my dear teachers, we are the best tool for our students. We should be able to instruct them. We are the best visual aid for our students. What we do, they will be able to appreciate it if you put your heart in it. Since one of the values we should inculcate to our students is the value of perseverance, the value of discipline, the value of integrity. We also encourage parent participation in classroom and at home learning activities, most especially during the pandemic. Parents are experiencing hard time on how to discipline, on how to guide their sons and daughters, their children, on how to fully understand the complexities of studying at home. So we have some schools have the Parents Teacher Association or the Parents Teacher Community Association that we should be encourage them to participate, most especially since they are our stakeholders. We should be able also to manage classroom materials and inventory. So you are given this X number of materials that you produce inside your classroom. So you should be able to check if there's something missing. We must also fulfill all our contracts. So before we sign our contracts, whether it's in a public or a private school, we should be able to understand fully the contents. To be able, if you would like to transfer, if you would like to sign, there would be no complex problems that you will encounter. Nowadays, some teachers just simply sign without understanding. Just to remember, we are adults with proper training and we should be able to understand and to obey school policies. Most especially, school has a unique way on how to keep their teachers and what are the ways they're given a fund or certain amount of money at their disposal, how will be able to account it and be involved in the development of the community. As teachers, we are expected to be part of the change in our community. I know everybody of you are involved in the development of the community, from the Brigada Eskwela to the Gulayan sa Paaralan, to simple gathering of community leaders to help in the painting or repainting of school facilities and other things that will develop the community since the community itself is part of the stakeholders. Part of our community also are our political leaders, the government agencies, non-government agencies, the service organization. That might be a good partner, foster partnership, develop our students, most especially Department of Education would like our students makabansa, makabayan, makadiyos, makatao. Okay? But sometimes teachers are really overloaded. It's so much work. That's why I call it the teachers is the multiverse of work. So we are called to be facilitators of learning, as a guidance counselor, keeper of documents, election inspector. Sometimes our fellow teachers have been victims of election violence. Attendance checker, performer during school programs to remember the time during the foundation or the birthday of the owner of the school. You have to prepare for the activity during foundation anniversary or any activity, specialized training for your subjects. Just like me, I'm a Araling Panlipunan teachers, so you should also be able to join professional organizations or join or organize professional learning circles in your respective schools or the LAC, no? Learning Action Cell to have to improve professionally. So as teachers, we are considered as second parents, so let us make our students safe and happy while we are teaching. So we became module writers. And every teacher aspires to be awarded, whether it's a loyalty award or a simple best teacher of the school or best teacher of the year award or any award that is given to teachers well appreciated because everybody would like to be given an acknowledgement of the hardship done for every activity or every school. If you look at this, the continuous learning model, according to the Deloitte, a teacher needs to be able to learn and be exposed to the four E's: education, experience, environment, exposure. So there are schools who are really performing schools because first of all, the leadership supports the advancement of the teachers in their school community. There are some problems also encountered by the other teachers wherein some secure leaders of the school are trying to block their promotions or trying to stop them from achieving something because they might be the one to replace. So as teachers, we should be able to again enroll in a graduate school program. Choose the best school. Do not just take your master's or doctorate degree because the school, as they say, is a diploma mill or very easy. Again, as adults, we are not here to take what is easy. Because if you go through the process of an easy diploma just to graduate, of course, being a teacher is very tiresome, very worrisome, it's a very demanding profession. But it should not give you an idea that you should be able to finish this and that for a very short period. We are looking for mastery. We are looking for specialization. We are looking for expertise. Experience, yes, you might be a 20, 30 years in teaching as a teacher, that's experience. But another experience to gain is to enroll and to develop yourself to be a better person, not just as a teacher, but a person. The environment and the exposure. So there are some teachers who are complaining, only few teachers are being sent in seminars, only the favorites of the administration. So you try to be members of professional organizations since those professional organizations that check them first if they are legitimate organizations, if there are so many organizations offering this and that, then you will find out that you will not be able to get the CPD units. I would like to assure you that the one who is offering this CPD program, Sir Jason, is a legitimate, is a registered learning provider, duly approved, registered by the Professional Regulations Commission. And as you know, Sir Jason was already able to get the National Educators Academy of the Philippines certification. That will really prove that what you are learning today is tantamount to promotion in the future or a better career in the future. So keep learning, my fellow teachers. You will not say, pwede na yan, okay na to. No. Life is a lifelong learning, and everybody is given a chance to perform well and be of service to the community and to our dear learners. So if you look at this picture was taken as part of the program of the Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Teachers, wherein they were able to have a contest, a photo essay on what were the experiences of the teachers during the pandemic. And these are two of winning photos. First is behind the scene from David Tarlac. This is a photo by Victor Jan Anunciacion. So that is his mother. 60 plus something mother, teacher, who is trying her best even at the most difficult period to continue education. Just imagine how a 60 years old mother, 60 plus years old teachers cope up with the difficulty of delivering that mode of learning. Just like me, I'm using my ring light and I do hope that my internet is okay. Just imagine how much teachers spend to let the children continue to learn. Another is Braving the Waves from DepEd Nueva Vizcaya. This is a photo by Aiza Lagmayo, in which she takes a picture of a teacher crossing a river just to deliver the modules to the far-flung areas of that part of Nueva Vizcaya. So teachers are risking their lives and limbs, including their personal ambitions to go abroad. Personally, I have so many co-teachers now who have lived the country for a greener pasture in various countries around the world. Since, as you look at your salary now, if you are a parent who is aspiring to send your child to good schools, and if you have a husband whose salary is very meager, nowadays the answer to have a better and bright future for yourself, for your children, is to go abroad. The Philippines, for the last how many years, we are all trying and striving to make this country okay. But apparently, due to some economic and financial problems, locally and internationally, our growth has been stunted by so many issues. So let us all hope and pray that our country will be able to enter a moment where everybody would just simply go abroad to enjoy and to have a vacation or a leisurely trip, not be a reason to let families broke apart due to fear of poverty or not being able to finish school. In this discussion, I would like to give you tips on how we could engage our students. So the first part, we discussed about how you became and developed into a teacher and what are the challenges in being a teacher. Now we'll go now on how you engage your students with regards to matters concerning their learning. So according to Pablo, Stevens, Zepke, and Leach in 2015, student engagement is a student's emotional, behavioral, and cognitive connection to their study, which has a direct impact on student success and achievement. So it's a student's emotional, behavioral, and cognitive connection. So if the students just simply read the sentence, if the student does not feel connected to the lesson, so she or he doesn't care about the lesson. So again, they became disengaged. Because if the student is interested, the student is attentive to your lesson, grades will be okay. And this would result into achievement, not just inside the school, but outside the school. Because the students, as we always know, students share your lesson with their classmates, with their friends. And if they feel that the lesson has a direct impact on their personality, students will be able to really be engaged in your lesson. And how to engage your students? There are three main factors surrounding the integration of technology. Since nowadays, even though most of the schools, especially in the public system, have been utilizing the face-to-face discussion, still we need this integration of technology. First, again, how we engage our students. Second, how well the instructor or the teacher trained to integrate technology. Technology is not just about using PowerPoint or Google Slides. It's not just about that. Technology is not about using computer in your classroom discussion or being able to send emails. No, it's not just like integration of technology. Technology is something that you build into the lesson. That you build into how to connect your students. Most especially now, the generation of our students are very techy since majority of them are, as we all know, digital migrants. So the technology is with them. If you would notice among your students, it seems that they could not put down the cell phones or any gadgets. Since for the last 2 years, students are into that what you call technology, the online technology. Now we are into the hybrid slash blended learning system. Students are finding it hard to really disconnect with such gadgets. So we should be able to fully understand how we could make our students engage without those gadgets. So the classroom discussion, the face-to-face classroom discussion should be able to let our students realize that it is not just gadgets that would make them learn. It is the person to person, the actual human touch or the human socialization process that would give them better understanding on how to deal with society or the complexities of life. Again, student engagement can be intellectual, emotional, physical, social, and behavioral. When say intellectual, students are able to convey their messages using their minds or creative mind. Emotional, how do you deal with the process, how do you share your emotions. Physical is the actual and the social. Behavioral is understanding how our students behave nowadays. As we all know, our students are very sensitive. Students are very entitled nowadays. Just like in the olden times wherein you may use the corporal punishment system, or you tell the parents directly that they have to be with their students. If you look at the background of our students, they are very into gadgets. They would like their performances to be given automatically. They would like results automatically. Our students are experiencing so much mental problems, mental health issues. Our students are very slow in understanding sometimes the concepts we are discussing with them. So you have to repeat and repeat it all over again. So as teachers, that's a very daunting task. It's a hard, difficult road ahead, but with perseverance, and creative ways to create our future for them makes things bearable.
Ada?
Again, according to Matheson and Matheson, without access, there can be no learning, and without accessibility, there is inclusion. So students, if you don't want them to be excluded, most especially in this period wherein online education has really transformed the lives of our students. If you look at these three situations, the first situation from ManilaBulletin.com, there's a father who has difficulty answering the assignment. So this is his first picture. If you look at this first picture, the student is just simply smiling and very happy that there is somebody, probably an uncle, a tito, or a father who is answering his assignment. So students nowadays, especially if you're giving them your lecture or lessons, you might be so amazed by their scores. That's why there have been an issue with regards to grade inflation. The grades of the students shoot up, and some state universities were able to produce in hundreds and hundreds of cum laudes, magna cum laudes, and this is really believable. Then we go down to the transitioning to the face-to-face classes, and you're asking yourself, why is the score so low? Why is the student so slow in understanding the concept, this and that? So there's the gap in the effect. Students are being pampered in their respective homes. Not everybody. But if you are trying to communicate, to understand the scores from pre-pandemic to pandemic times, the post-pandemic times, you will really see that there is a parent or a person who is supporting their intellectual capacity, that the students bring it inside the classroom, that there will be somebody who will answer for them. Second picture, if you would see, so the mother is asking, yes, anak, yes po, while having probably a Zoom meeting or a video conference with the boss, who is asking her, did you submit your report? And on the other side of the mother is a child asking if the answer is wrong. So it's a delicate balance of the parents during the online classes that they could not really give their 100%, while other parents give 100%, including answering the activities of their children. Some parents have experienced so much difficulty. So if ever, if you are a worker that you have to go to office daily and you only have a child who could not even understand simple instructions through online, because there are different types of learners. So you have the visual learners, the auditory learners, and the kinesthetic learners. So these face-to-face classes, some parents are having a sigh of relief that they could not be able, that the students will be given instruction by their teachers, because the concept of teachers before the pandemic, simply say, teacher lang naman yan, madali namang gawin yung ginagawa nila. Until the parents were able to experience actually how to teach their respective children. So they thought that the money they are paying us, especially the private school, nagbabayad naman kami, turuan niyo yung anak niyo. So if they could not really comprehend sometimes, imagine handling 40 to 45 up to 50 students, then suddenly understanding individual differences and balancing them, and how to perform well and how to motivate well, whereas this parent was only one child who could not even balance. So there's a big problem posed by this online learning. So we should be able to give our best to fully understand this problem. Then another is a child who was not able to connect, just like this discussion. Probably I may sound like a robot or having some internet issues at my end, and you might be wondering why is my voice not totally okay. It's because of the internet connection. We all know the internet connection in our country is very slow. No, everybody is paying this and that to the internet service providers, boasting their reliability and capability to deliver the highest quality of service, but apparently to no avail. We're just paying them, but I hope the government, the government has set up the Department of Information Communications Technology to fast track the construction and the construction of those internet sites to make our country competitive. But apparently, the budget has been to the anti-COVID fight. So we do hope, no? Just imagine in the cities, just like in Metro Manila, there's a somehow strong internet connection. How about in the provinces or the rural cities or the island barangays in our country where students were really not able to connect? That you have not, let us not simply disregard this problem. So those internet service providers should be able to really um, fulfill their promises of giving and making their services better, not just earning from our hard-earned money. Caparella in 2002 stated that there are three levels of learner involvement. So for the low learner involvement, just like this, it's simply a discussion one way. There's no interaction unless if you, since this is a recorded video, so you would simply uh, listen. So just like in the college, when we are listening to our teachers for 2 hours or 3 hours, lecture. So just discussion. So there's no learner involvement. Tutorials. So if you're trying to open, just like this, when you buy a new appliances and there's the operation manual or the operating manual, so you try to look at how does it work, how do you fix it. Demonstration, Socratic method. You ask me, then I'll give you back the question. Why? What do you think? So just like, uh, Sir Aguya, what are the best practices to be given to our students in order to have a learner centered activity? Then I will give back. What do you think? So that's Socratic method or the Socratic dialogue. We also have panel discussion, a little interaction, but sometimes only expert person answer the question. Computer-based drills and computer-based tutorials. So when we upload activities that students have to answer, as simple as that. When you upload an assignment, when you upload an activity that students have to answer it individually or in groups, it became video observation and noting the observation and asking, behavior modeling, reflective journals, email and chat messages. Probably your students has even chat you in the wee hours of the night asking for a instructions they could not understand. So as teachers, we have been in a situation wherein our sleeping patterns have been disrupted, just like our students. So probably some of you have been going to bed as early as 9 or 10 a.m., 10 p.m. pre-pandemic, but because of the hormonal changes and other physical changes that are happening around, so your sleep changes must move to 11, 12 to the midnight. Then the process is repeated again and again. Then we also have audio video conferencing. So just like what you see in the previous slide where the mother was being asked by his boss if the project or the activity has already been finished. Asynchronous online forum. So during the asynchronous forum, your student will be posting questions and how to do the activity, and you'll be there to answer the question. So there's medium interaction or medium learner involvement. With high learner involvement, debates, yes, because it's really a battle of intellectual sharing facts and details, evidences. Unless the other party on the debate would not like to speak further, that's not a debate. So storytelling sessions. So storytelling, you give the story to your students, and students will be able to share if they could relate to the story. Concept mapping, case studies, jigsaw and puzzles. So these are activities that might involve two or more students, or educational gaming. So probably some of you have been using Kahoot or other activities that would make our students, or the peer deck or any other applications wherein our students will be able to type or to choose among the variables, problem based, and this probably the students miss this, the role playing and simulations. So we miss those days wherein students will be able to, just like in a story, so you have to create a short skit or presentation, just like my experiences. So when I was a classroom teacher during the pre-pandemic, I asked our students in value education to have a short presentation with regards on what are the values they learned on that particular story or the particular lesson. So that's the levels of career involvement. Another one, everybody has been very familiar nowadays, most especially our educators. Since our educators, there's vis-a-vis synchronous, asynchronous. So synchronous, for the information of everybody, it's a review, is live with all participants at the same time. So if this would be Facebook Live, and I will be able to interact with you, so that's synchronous. Asynchronous is when you open up the videos being uploaded by your teacher. So when you upload just like my case tonight, since I was not able to connect on the live session, so I record my discussion or the lecture for this topic, and you, as one of the participants, open this and listen at your own pace. So if you are not able to clearly hear or fully understand the discussion, you just replay, move your mouse to the panel, and try to repeat, just like our students. So when you upload a short video lesson, so students who are absent during those times, just simply tell them, oh, you watch this and try to create a analysis of the lesson. So even if the student is absent, the next time, or the students will be able to review during the periodic exam and could not recall the discussion. So simply go back and forth through the lesson. So that's the difference between the synchronous and the asynchronous discussion. DepEd has released, based on the standards, that these are the recommended screen time per grade level. So 1 hour for kindergarten, for those who are kindergarten teachers here. So this is the recommended. So that's why they have a short period when it comes to online classes. For grades 1 to 5, only 1.5 hours. 2 hours for grades 6 and 8, and for our students who are from grades 9 to 12, the junior to the senior high, grade 7 and 8 is junior high, but some schools are also applying the 4 hours for the grades 7 and 12. So that's how it is to lessen exposure to radiation of the laptop or the gadgets used by our students. So students nowadays have experienced some eye problems. So they have some. You go back to the face-to-face, just like in my classes. There are so many students who are wearing eyeglasses or reading glasses nowadays compared to the pre-pandemic. When I ask them, it's because of the effect of their long exposure. As you try to recall, even as teachers, no, even after our face-to-face, just like me, I have 4 hours every day, every Tuesday and Thursday. The Mondays for the synchronous, Wednesdays asynchronous, Friday asynchronous. even after checking. So I handle 4 to 5 sections with around 35 to 40 students each. So you have to check. So the long exposure of the eyes of our students to the gadgets, including as teachers, has resulted into many types of eye problems and defects. So please do take care of your eyes. With the message clear that the online education has affected our students, there are other things that gives us some things to be worried about, no? According to the EU-funded family study, top 4 findings on kids and their gadget use. Having TV in the bedroom is a risk factor for obesity. So try to have no television in your bedroom, because the more time you spend watching, because when you try to watch television and you feel happy, there's no more physical activity. So our students has lost so much physical activity. Screen time during meals is particularly harmful. So we try to refrain from using gadgets or cell phones or laptops during meals. Food choices in children are influenced by media consumption. That's why it results into non-communicable diseases. Packaged meals rather than home cooked. So the more media consumption, because as you look at television or any internet content that deals with food, you will really crave for it at any given point in time, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, evening, or even midnight. Since our generation of learners nowadays are very, as they say, heavily influenced by media contents. So you probably have heard the phenomenon of mukbang, the too much consumption of samgyeopsal and milk tea, burger, fries, which is a very high fat content and high salt content food. Other things being noticed and problems being detected by the study, weight problems. Uh, that's why the obesity problem among the youth are very high, including adults nowadays. Fear of missing out, most especially our students. Now they would like, everybody would like to be updated with the latest news, with the latest anything, most especially on the celebrities they follow. Reading fewer books, so the problem of literacy and numeracy in our country, lower grades in school, sleep and mood problems. So less time with family and friends since they are inside the respective rooms, doing using so much time with their gadgets and their laptops in order to be updated, even buying their own things, or self-image and body image issues since so much content is being uploaded in the social media, particularly in different how to be pretty, how to be guapo nowadays. So students are finding it hard to really appreciate themselves. So then they have their comparison on how to look attractive. So there's a phenomenon called now body dysmorphia, in which students nowadays or even young adults are undergoing through so many prosthetic procedures and other things because of body insecurities. So let us tell our students that they have to accept who they are and they don't have need to have to undergo medical operations to be attractive because everybody of us is unique and given a beautiful set of limbs and body parts by our creator. And the problem because there's so much food, no exercise, not enough outdoor or physical activity. So especially our children. children who have been using their gadgets for how many hours, who doesn't even walk or even do simple exercises or breathing exercises. So you really see the effect to those children. Such things would really affect. So that's why the face-to-face classes, somehow they will be able now to attend their physical education classes. They could run, they could walk, perspire, and feel good about themselves. So if you are so loaded with so many things, no, physically, mentally, so you feel very down. So one way to lessen stress is to do exercise, do some walking, socialize with your friends or classmates. So as adults also, do remember, no, the the habits, lifestyles being mirrored by their parents is copied by their students. O, anumang, sabi nga, just like in Tagalog, no, ang anumang ginagawa ng nakakatanda, whether tama yan o ay mali, ay gagayahin ng bata. So as teachers, we try to be role models to our students. I know you have been probably uh, having also such problems with your child or students or you yourself as experiencing problems just like with problems, not enough activity, poor self-image. So we try to clear our minds. What is the proper way on how to deal with those insecurities and problems? And what are the ways to help them? No? Choose media wisely. So with so many, again, so many multimedia content in the social media or the internet, we should learn to choose our media. Limit your own phone use. And do you have a policy in your respective schools that children are not allowed to bring their cell phones or how is your what is your policy as a teacher if the students would like to answer their phone during your classes when it rings or do you allow them to open it as a reference during performance activities such as drawings or a simple classroom research? Teach children about online privacy and safety, especially nowadays, scammers, uh, with much technology around. There's also a huge possibility that those bad people are lurking in the internet. So what is the policy when it comes to your children, your students, and how to deal with those privacy and safety issues? Be aware of advertising and how it influences choices. So with so many social media influencers being paid upon by multi-million companies, look at how advertisement affects us. So there's so many ways how advertisement is being done, such as the bandwagon mentality. If others are doing it, why not join us? The testimonials, famous celebrities are saying something good or bad about their choices. The branding, there are certain products and that's make it say they are claiming that this is a good person, a good situation, or we could also have that fear, no? Just like the one being used nowadays, no? In the COVID pandemic, you have so many scary type of advertisement which make people very worried that if they will not be able to buy such products, they will catch germs, diseases, or bacteria. Keep bedtime, meal time, and family time screen free. So remember po, decide when your child is ready for a personal device. There's so many parents nowadays who bought cell phones for 2 years old, 3 years old. That's now how you give your child such personal device. So there's so many activities that you could have for your children. as much as possible, give them uh, things that is not about cell phones because it could really affect the mental development of the child or the cognitive development. There's so many researches about that. I hope you will be able also to read and learn what are the dangers of giving your child a personal device as early as 1, 2 years old. No, some parents are arguing that uh, it is there's nothing wrong giving my child a device since they are simply watching these cartoons or this and that. No, there's a psychological reason behind the child's brain cognitive development is being affected by such exposure to especially to long screen hours. Especially if the parents are busy with their respective lives and when the child asks, Mommy, Daddy, can I have a cell phone? And they will simply give it to the child and the whole day will be spent with the screen time. So that's not should not be the situation. And I emphasize the weekly. We should sleep well, look at the food that we are eating, look at the calories, the fat content, the salt content, and the exercise. Do not be bothered that your somebody you know are giving their children this and that. So the best thing that you could give your child is the gift of health, sleep, nutrition, and exercise. There's so many young people nowadays who are leaving us because some of them have problems. Aside from the sleep, nutrition, and exercise problem, so many mental health issues that needs to be addressed. Just like experts say, after the pandemic, the next big issue is the mental health issue. Whether it's for the children, the parents, or the educators like us. Everybody's going through a lot, and we should support one another. If you are not an expert, let them ask for professional help. Our country lacks so many mental health experts and professionals, but still, if your school has guidance counselor, kindly have them discuss topics with regards to such things because in one way or another, if those learners will be able to hear those soothing words or tips on how to keep them mentally okay, at least we have done our part. But always remember to inform your parents that this particular child is undergoing such process for the young. Now, as we go into public, online, and private, comparing these two online educational systems, the government is for free, public, whereas education is being managed by private individuals such as those who are school owners, religious association, enrollment is the major source of income. Gadgets are provided for the public school system. The public school system, due to big number of students, lesser attention is given. So just imagine how many students are in classroom. 70, 80, whereas in the private sector, we have around 20, 30, so more manageable. So the students are given and being provided better supervision and support of development. Public, online, all teachers are board passers. Private, some teachers are not board passers. They are simply getting experience before transferring to the public sector. So that's one of the problems now of our country. So when a group asks that salaries of public school teachers be raised, the Deputy Secretary replied by if we're going to raise the salary of the public schools, so the salary of the public school, more private schools will be transferring. So which gives the question, which begs the question, is that the answer of a is that the proper answer? So you should be able to support private schools with subsidies and other help and give more budget to the public sector. Since especially we all know that the Philippines is given a very, very low budget when it comes to education, and in the world, we have one of the lowest percentage budget allotted to the educational sector compared to other countries. So when it comes to education, it entails research and development, uh, the overhauling of the system. That's why the senior high school system is being reviewed because some critics say it is not successful, but because of the mandate to offer it, the Philippines has no choice. Public education is education for all. So sometimes the problem with the education for all, you would like to equalize the rights of people to access to education. The problem are the students graduating really capable of venturing into the outside world. You don't simply pass students because you want them to pass. You pass students because you believe and you were convinced by that child, based on credentials, that he is capable of going to the next stage. In the private education, we have entrance exam, in which exam has been waived because of the pandemic. Admission process is based on policies. So for the private education, everything is being scrutinized. But the fear of the private education is if you're going to expel or let the students be not accepted next school year, problem is how will you be able to have a viable financial plan for the school. The public education is very bureaucratic in nature, mass training is done. So very bureaucratic. There's so many level of before you could approve this thing and that. Mass training is done. Teachers, master teachers, head teachers, and teachers, school leaders are being sent to so many seminars, trainings, whether online or offline, then go back to respective schools to interpret the training. That's why there's some problems when it comes to the trickling down of such information to the re-echoing of the information. So the private education, leadership, and exposure to training is based mostly on management prerogative. So because of the management, it is the one who send those school leaders. So if you really try to look at the situation between the online education, both public and private is gearing up for quality. It's gearing up for accessibility of education. But the problem is how are you able to access quality education if on the training itself of teachers, just like me, I have been a face-to-face teacher for how many years? Probably 15, 16 years. Then this pandemic came. So I was so shocked. I feel anxious on how will I be able to deliver my lesson using laptop since I was not able to use that before. Except I was invited in webinars like this. But how will I interact with my students? What are the applications and how will I deal with students online if they do not want to answer, if they do not want to submit and those things. So luckily, I'm in a institution wherein we were given training to be able to do that. How about other teachers? How about the other institutions? It's a sad reality that based on the news, we have around 400 plus schools who have closed their operations because of the pandemic. What's happening now to the children and the teachers who are supposed to be the bearers, the beacons of hope and light to those learners? And the intricacies of sustaining this during the face-to-face, now that some of you are going back to school, the face-to-face classes Teachers can monitor body language and facial expression. Yes, we would see the students say, you would see if their eyes are very happy, when their body says, I'm not interested in the lesson, or the teacher is not okay. Whereas in the online learning, whenever you discuss, if you make your voice too loud or too aggressive, students may be dissuaded by your presence. So your tone of voice may affect students' stress. So your tone should be very calm, entertaining, welcoming. I don't know if my voice is well modulated on my end, but this is how I deliver also in the online. Teacher largely determines the pace of the class. So the teacher would give activities if the student will be able to submit. So next activity, if there's some clarifications, repeat the discussion. In the online learning, students determine the pace. So students could not understand the lesson based on the submitted activities and other criteria. So the teachers will have to adjust. So if they have to repeat the lesson online, or they have to ask all over again, is there any question, do you have any clarifications? Face to face, less chance to be stressed out digitally, but to be stressed out physically because you are dealing with actual students. Online learning, you need to have a great deal of patience and commitment. Just waking up in the morning to attend the morning class at 7 in the morning, 7 after, then you have to expose yourself to the computer for how many times, and to do those PowerPoint or Google Slides or those presentations. So that requires a month of patience and commitment. Or students would not going to answer your question. When you try, oh, do you have any questions, class? Only thumbs up. Or the only attendance is present, ma'am, or present there. So how will you deal with that? Teachers use a variety of assessment and they get results immediately. It's like in the face-to-face, get 1-4, number your papers 1 to 10, this is question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then after that, exchange paper, check. You get the result. In the online learning, if the student say, ma'am, I was disconnected because of low internet, so you have to give that student consideration. Or during the examination, you, your teacher, yourself, has been disconnected and you were not yet able to pose your question. So there's a problem. But it's easy to download digital resources that students can use while they work their own schedule. Just like this, you post the activity, just like at our school, we are using Google Classroom. So in the Google Classroom, I post the question. So you give how many days to answer. And like the actual face-to-face, I do my quizzes now face-to-face, automatically know the results. And I will automatically ask the students, is there any question? Or they could go after my class, they could message me or talk to me personally at the back of the room or any place. So tapos just like when I go out to the classroom, somebody would go, sir, I have a question. Nahihiya po kasi I'm shy asking during the class discussion. That's why I'm asking this. And you also have that class president who will be there to assist you during face-to-face. Needs a lot of dedication, personality, and pedagogy. It's the training of teachers. Dedication, personality, and pedagogy. Whereas in the online learning, you need to know your learning management system. How to operate, how to open, how to accept, how to check, how to return, how to. And sometimes your parents needs to know this. The parents will be there, sir, I could not open the activity, just like what I experienced last time. Students are going to submit activities based on the same type of file. Then I could not open it. You could not even download it sometimes because of fear of being infected by virus. So you have to bring it back to the students. So that's how you communicate with your students. So our schedule is this. Mondays is asynchronous. We don't have any formal classes, but the time to check. Tuesday synchronous. Then Wednesday, Thursday, face-to-face, then Friday asynchronous again. Some schools are doing the groups 1, groups 2. Some schools are doing this Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. then you have to still follow so many health protocols. And may I ask, teacher, ready ka na ba? If you see students smile like that, it means they are ready. They may be naughty, they may be looking at you with those eyes, but that's the reality of life. We need to see these faces to inspire and motivate us. When students go back during the face-to-face, you have to know this. The general population. What is the general population of the students? There are students in transition, transferring students, students who stop, students who would like to re-enroll again, students who are experiencing some problems with the internet. And students infected by virus. What is the protocol of their school when somebody caught the virus or any students? Do you have a clinic? Do you have people assigned to accompany them to all their parents? Do you have done an isolation rooms? Students with low learning, students who are slow learners, who would not really automatically understand instructions. Students without child care. When you say child care, there's nobody caring for them except for some lolo lola, parents who are not around, or students who doesn't have actual experiences with dealing with actual people except for the relatives only. Without access to internet, so not all areas, even in the, just like our school is located in Caloocan City, so there's still some students who are asking if they could attend only online, or some students who are still in abroad who would like to attend online. So you need to go to the Philippines to study. So, but sometimes we have students who are asking, sir, sorry for not attending yesterday's synchronous discussion because my internet is not okay. Could I have the lecture or the activity? So I posted my PowerPoint presentation for them to be able to cope with the non-attendance as long as they have an excuse letter. And there are still some parents who would not like their students to go back to school, especially those who are vaccinated and unvaccinated or haven't completed their vaccination cycle due to the fear or health issues. We also have teacher segments, teachers who have some age limitation, teachers who acquired the virus. What is your protocol? Logistically compromised, students who could not travel because of transportation reasons, available to work in person. So before you go back to school, you are being surveyed who are the vaccinated, unvaccinated, who are with comorbidities. So the school do that. Teacher who are uncomfortable in the learning. There are certain teachers who do not want to go back to school, insisting that they have some problems or other issues. Behavioral and physical norms. Nowadays, when you go back to the face-to-face classes, these are the things that you would observe. So you are posting use face masks, disinfectants, and alcohol. Thank you, Lord, that the face shield has been stopped because it really affects the performance of people, most especially if the face mask might cause some accidents. Just like me, when I wear face mask in school discussions or face to face, sometimes because of transition to classes, my glasses became foggy, or I have some problems with lumalabo sa salamin, ganyan. Have a hallway pass. So in order to control our students from getting out of the classes during discussion, we have this hallway pass, and we have a crowd control officer for the restrooms. So students should not be crowded. There are also directions. This is your way, this is the other way. Avoid and discourage sharing objects. So as much as possible, we are asking our students to avoid sharing objects. Crayons or those coloring materials, sharing of food, most especially. Ensure increase of circulation of outdoor air. Some schools who are air conditioned are using air purifiers, so that's very costly nowadays, especially if the school is big and needs to some have circulation of outdoor air. Big they open up their windows. We also have these. Encourage students to bring back lunch or meals for safety purposes. Since some canteens, the food is very exposed to the elements, but some schools are trying its best to let their students really bring back lunch for safety and safety purposes. Host a restroom monitor physical distance personnel in case of air-conditioned classroom, and there's an air purifier, and install directional and precautionary signages. The exit, where's the entrance. If you have a gate, where's gate 1 or gate 2, gate 3, where's the exit and entry points of your school community. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces and items. So if students are there to bring their own alcohol, adjust space seating either 1 meter or 2 meters apart. If this could not be done because of the small size of the room, so try at least to have a distance between students and only one direction. So if this is the classroom, just like in my background, so that's only one direction. So students could not do this and do that during class. Install physical barriers when difficult for physical distancing. And turn desks face in the same direction, or students sit only one side. So in our school, we have around 34 to 35 students per class, in which the former capacity was more or less 40 to 45. So the excess chairs are being removed or put in the back to have students to have a spacing between them. I hope you are still with me while listening to this discussion. Now that we are in our learning mode, so first we have discussed about the teacher. Second is how to encourage student engagement and what are the ways to be safe. Now we are going now to understand how will you perform as a teacher. First, you should understand whether your learning platform is modular. Is it homeschooling, blended, educational TV, radio-based, or online distance learning? These are the learning platforms or learning modes of delivery, modes of learning as approved by the government during the pandemic. But still, the totality of it all, the most important is to have a face-to-face, in which we are still waiting if the Secretary of Education will announce if starting November 2, we'll be having a full-blown face-to-face. So second, understand your video platform. Is it Zoom? Is it Google Meet, MS Teams, Cisco WebEx, Facebook Live, or whatever platform that you have acquired from those companies that gives you the capability to deliver your lesson. Then understand your devices. As teachers, we have both these, no? We have some both mic, ring light, earphone, camera, keyboard, additional expense of Wi-Fi or internet connection. Some schools provided, some schools do not. Laptop and headphone. You should also learn to understand how to use proper light, because lighting affects our presence in the students. So the dark areas and the shadows, students are more excited to see their teachers. So for our female teachers, probably are also putting up makeup or simple face powder. For the male, my personal routine is facial cleansers, putting some talcum powder, and having a ring light in front of me, plus additional light above for proper lighting. Using backgrounds. So just like my background, since we are teachers and it's a classroom. So I set a tone for your class, establish a sense of professionalism, assures your clients and the school that you are prepared to teach, creates a warm and productive environment where the students feel comfortable. So the most recommended background is your school logo, or your school, picture of your school, or any color that would not distract the attention of your students. The main focus, always remember, in online classes is you, not your background. So tell also your students to avoid using unnecessary backgrounds. Unless if, just like example, today is your, for elementary teachers, today is your uh, career day. So students could have a background as a doctor, as a nurse, working in a hospital, or a teacher, or any background that coincides or reflects the career that the students are doing or planning to be in the near future. Presentation slides. So since us teachers know using slides and presentations, so be consistent with your font, just like what you're using. Be consistent with information. Do not put so much. If your topic, just like me, if your topic is all about provinces in Region 3, put only the provinces first. Do not put the capital, do not put the tourist spots, do not put the major products. It will just make your students could not understand the topic that you are going to discuss. Avoid using too much distraction. There's a picture here, there's a picture there. So they could not understand. You should focus first on what's the most important. As much as possible, know your color combination. Some teachers are using the wrong color combination. So if your PowerPoint or your Google slide presentation is dark, so use a white background in order to see. Avoid too much sound effects. Avoid overcrowded information. So the fault, some teachers are really guilty with this now. If the lesson is nearing the deadline or the topics to be discussed are so many, so they put everything, so it will mess up the minds of your students. So avoid overcrowded information. And refrain multicolored presentation also. So if I, just like again what I say, mga lalawigan or provinces in Central Luzon, if they see Hamulay blue, Tarlac green, Zambales red, do not do that unless if you're an art teacher or the topic is all about colors. So do not put multicolored presentation. Make it formal, presentable, and readable. So have a strong and reliable internet connection. Even Jack Mas commented, I tried to test the speed of the Philippine internet. It's not good. I encourage the government, entrepreneurs, everybody to work together to improve speed and coverage of internet. And the Philippines versus ASEAN, as you can see, we have a very low percentage from share population, 4G, broadband, and download speed. Even the company that boasts itself as the best internet provider in the Philippines is experiencing, its customers are also experiencing problems. Now we go to the blended learning. So blended learning is a combination. So it's able, our school, the According Debit Order, Philippine Debit Order 17, series of 2022. So it combines various activities. So how to deal with it? So this is how blended approach is being done. A mix of both traditional face-to-face and online modes of instruction according to Kastner in 2013. So blended learning is not a new thing in our country. Our universities, Open University, such as the UP, is already using it. But because of the pandemic, it has been utilized by our educational system. And it will be still, even if the pandemic will be over, I do believe that this type of learning or mode of delivery of instruction will still be used because it's very helpful to everybody to let the education continue even if there's a pandemic or not. Blended learning represents a model that integrates technology to boost learning and deliver business impact. As a result, also, just as I said a while ago, amount of flexibility is required both during the current situation and onward the future. It it's the current situation we are in. So we will be here to flow, to follow the changes in the educational landscape in our country. So if your school is now having its limited or full-blown face-to-face activities, it's because of the DepEd DOH Joint Memorandum. Oh, before you could open, you have to satisfy all of this. So compliant with the standards of the School Safety Assessment Tool, schools must be located in areas under alerts level 1 and 2, since the national capital of the region and most of the countries are now in level 2. So we have this limited face-to-face. Schools may already include other grade levels based on the capacity of the school. So some schools that started elementary, then followed by junior high, then senior high, after the college, the graduate school, if Indian University set up. But since DepEd and DOH are on the basic education, it's only up to the junior to the senior high school setup. Schools and division must have secured the concurrence of the local chief executive, the mayor, the barangay captain, and the city council or the municipal council or the barangay captain or the barangay council, and taking the proper coordination there is barangay officials, especially when it comes to flow of traffic, since many people are still going back to schools, how the management of the face-to-face classes. Students participating in the F2F classes must have the written consent of their parents. So parents should be asked and should be able to present vaccination cards, at least preliminary, since booster is now being given by the government, but some still are not boosting themselves. Schools are given flexibility, contact time for time teaching and learning, provided that meals are not taken in school except during managed recess. So this is applied for the elementary. Only vaccinated teachers may participate in the face-to-face classes, and vaccinated learners shall be prepared. So I do hope that all teachers who are listening to this discussion are all vaccinated and availing the booster shot for your own safety, since this is the policy as amended as approved by DepEd. Then, blended learning is like this. Personalized learning, students does not go to school every day, so they have their own learning. Better interaction for the teachers and the students for face-to-face and blended teaching resources are provided by the teachers in school. Enhanced access to learning because lessons are uploaded and being reviewed face-to-face. Students became active participants because they were able to ask their teachers and be able to raise questions, have clarifications, even in the online and face-to-face setup. And flexibility, since students do not need to go every day to school. So the days that they were not going to school could be used to answer the activities. So significance of blended learning, first, is cost efficient because schools are not being utilized every day. So the utilities are being saved and being paid to other things that it is, such as payment for internet connection, buying stuff like alcohol, disinfectants, face masks. Promotes ownership of learning because when you try to answer the activities are yours, keeps learners interested and engaged, prepares learner. This is the future, tech-centered world. Whether we like it or not, we have to praise for the challenges and embrace the challenges of this new normal. So what are the models of the blended learning? First, we have what's called the brick and mortar, the traditional instruction, and the technology-rich instruction. We have the online learning, the informal, and the full-time. Then we have the blended learning. As we go on, we will discuss one by one for you to fully understand. And I do believe that some of you are already applying this in your respective schools in a manner applicable to your setting and context. For the flex model, teachers and students mostly attend class in a physical classroom. Activities are self-guided, given online. They do most homework online, saving in-person time for questions, discussion, and group work. Just like me, I post my activities in the LMS, Google Classroom. During face-to-face classes, that's the time where I could give my students clarifications for questions. But I use my face-to-face time for performance tasks. Written activities are done online, since that's how students are being graded. Performance tasks, written output, and periodical tests. My quizzes and periodical tests is face-to-face. My written activities are done online, and my performance tasks are done face-to-face. So just like this. They have the self-paced curriculum as uploaded in the LMS. I do mentorship when students try to ask or clarify questions. There's group collaboration based on group activities. There's intervention, what I do with students who are not submitting. So when I see in the LMS that this student is not submitting his or her activity, I try to ask what's the reason, and they are being reminded by in person. We have what we call the in-person learning groups. So these are example, no? For our school, we have the Wednesday, Thursday, the Tuesday as synchronous. For the K to 10, Wednesday, Thursday. For the senior high, they have Monday, Tuesday. But some schools use Wednesday as a time for cleaning, disinfection, meetings. Since the pandemic, our meetings most of the time is online. So we have been saving up our time for more things to do, just like checking activities. Since if you are going to upload activities, checking requires the teacher so much time. So just imagine if you are going to check 50 or 30 papers for 5 minutes each. So that's automatic 150 hours, or less 2 hours and 30 minutes, 15, 40 minutes. So it will really consume your time. So what if you are a language teacher? You have to read everything, do some corrections. Yeah. You also have the flipped classroom. Students first interact with new material and concept through homework. Teachers then use in-person class to put new ideas. So the traditional classroom, so the instructor is the one discussing. Then after the discussion, after listening, teachers will give assignment for the students for application, for the students to apply the knowledge. In the flipped classroom, the teachers will simply upload recorded activities. Then students will watch and listen. Class time is devoted to applied activities. So application of activities, performance tasks, and questions. Just like what I'm doing now. So I upload activities. This lesson, I'm a teacher of economics and values education. So I do these activities. Then, just like one sample lesson, we are economics is discussed in our class in Tagalog. Kaugnayan economics sa iba't ibang aralin. So I uploaded the activity, the video lesson, and the performance test is, how is your family applying economics in your class? Then I asked the students to take a picture of their family and discuss it in the classroom. How do they able to use economics in their daily lives, and how do they apply it? So students were able to realize that saving, having an investment, choosing lesser prices of food, understanding the peso dollar rate are part of the economics, which simply just a simple day-to-day activity before they were able to realize that this is economics itself. Station rotation model, course of subject which students rotate on a fixed schedule are at the teacher's discretion. So sometimes this is in the laboratory. So the teacher will discuss inside the classroom. Divide the class into group 1, group 2. So the group 1 will be the one who listens to the lecture of the teacher. Group 2 will be inside the laboratory. Whether it's a science laboratory, somebody will be able to monitor them. So it needs collaboration. After the time, the next 30 minutes, the group 1 will go to the laboratory, and the second group will go to the classroom for the discussion with the teacher. So that's spatial rotation laboratory. Lab rotation is the same. For subject, students rotate to the lab online. So discussion until the entire class will go to the laboratory. So there's a rotation between laboratory and classroom discussion. Unless if the class itself became a laboratory in which students will be going around the class to discuss the matter. So theory into application. Then after application, discussion. Theory, application, discussion. Theory, application, discussion. Individual rotation, so allows students to rotate through station and fixed schedule. Well, this one of the stations is an online learning. So if this is the classroom, so there would be activities. So there's online intervention, online direct instruction, online group projects, and now webinar. So there's the central learning lab. Just like in the classes, if you'd like to have a 4 groups. So the first group will be discussing about the importance of online learning application. The second group is answer the question on the learning application. Third group will be the one to create a program on how to enter the importance. And the fourth one will be if there is problem encountered, the teachers will be able to interact with the students. So the center of the activity is based on the teacher's discretion. Then, learners should be diagnosed for their individualized learning because everybody, this is a very taxing to the teacher since the teacher has to check if all students were able to understand the lesson or they need some clarifications based on the individual rotation model that happens during the discussion. Enriched virtual mode. So students see their teachers face to face and get to face, but most of the classwork. So this is sometimes called correspondence learning. Correspondence learning sometimes, or just like what's happening during your masters, when you have to simply see your advisor for consultation. So everything is done online, and if the students would like to ask for a meeting with a teacher, just to supplement the things that's happening around the online discussion. A la carte mode, students have the option to pick and choose courses to take online. Or just like in our curriculum, this is what you call electives. So aside from the subjects being offered, if the students would like to take another subject as an elective, this is most of the time in college, in which the students will be able to get additional elective subjects. For example, if you're majoring in social studies and you would like to take additional units, so just you try to look at the supplementary online courses being offered as an additional subject for supplemental knowledge that you think may be applicable to your profession or course as an individual. So this is a simple proposal from our school. This is my schedule for the F2F, limited F2F. So every Monday we are asynchronous. So I handle Araling Panlipunan and Edukasyon sa Pagkatao. So that day they are answering their learning activity plans or modules. So book activity and other activities as stated on the lesson last week. So even this is the current week. Tuesday synchronous discussion, so processing of the activity. So as I discuss the activity, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm giving them performance tasks and additional discussion if they could not understand the lesson being discussed during the synchronous, especially if the internet is not okay. And after giving them the discussion performance tasks, if they could not submit it because the time is not enough, so they could submit the activities on Friday. Then the cycle repeats next week. So if the schedule is more okay, especially during the discussion, some students are shy in asking. So I give them the capacity. So I use Padlet or sometimes I use Peerdeck if the internet is okay. So I use other applications to let the students be more active participants in my class. So this is the internet problem that we're discussing. If you have high bandwidth or good internet connection, you could do video conferences or audio conferences. Collaborative documents, just like in Google Sheets or Google File, you could do it. But the problem, if you do not have the high bandwidth or the high internet connection, you could record your video, upload it, discussions, asynchronous, or simply email your student or message them in their chat, or upload a picture for them to understand. That's according to Data Stanford. The high bandwidth, low bandwidth, high immediacy, low immediacy activity. Because internet nowadays are not that strong, and you have to really choose what will be the activities that you have to upload to your students. Tips on integrating technology. First, keep practicing. Nobody is old enough to learn new things. Ask others for help. Not everybody is an expert. Everybody starts as a beginner. Keep it simple at first. If you could not understand how to do the applications, watch demonstration videos. There are thousands and millions of uploaded videos on how to do it in YouTube. If you could not YouTube, as an expert. Just like in our school, we have computer teachers. So I asked them, I may be at this age as a teacher, but I always ask, we are masters of our own field, but we are not masters of the things that we don't understand. Do not be shy to ask questions. Sabi nga po, wala namang mawawala sa atin kung magtataka tayo. Mas mabuti na yung aminado tayong hindi natin alam kaysa nagmamarunong tayo. So for the legal documents, para po tayo ay makapag face-to-face. So these are the division order, definite order, department order, adoption of the basic education learning continuity plan, readiness assessment checklist, guidelines required health standards, additional provisions to debt order number 13, series of 2020, special provision, another legal document with regards to face-to-face classes, which has recently released by DepEd, is regarding the suspension of online classes. The signal number 1 suspended, and also with the decision of the local government unit covering the specific place of that school or schools. Sample video lesson. So you could do digital field trips. So if you are teacher history, you would download digital field trips where the students explore the place. They could not go there personally, but you will let them be immersed in the experience. Since our, especially in the museum, video conferencing, just like if you want to discuss things with your students, gamified learning. So there's so many applications now that include games, short video recording, or gather student feedback through online polls or Pigeon. Most students works online. So in our school, whenever we have this particular type of activity, we ask our students if their parents would allow us to post their works online for other students to be very inspired or be aware that just like in our unit, we have the History Month. So we are posting works of our students. Integrating social media, virtual recognition. So this is done by every school, survey, opinion polls. Again, remember, if you would like to get the data of your students, do follow the Data Privacy Act for safety. Online portfolio, online collaboration, and online performances. A talent show, you could organize a simple talent show for our students. Publish a newsletter, blogging, and vlogging. Students nowadays are very good with this. Creating infographics, creating digital content, creating digital presentation. Incorporating video and multimedia lessons. So infographics nowadays, you have the best on Canva. Students are very good at it. So there's a template, just manipulate it, and if you would like to do the content. And some digital content, students nowadays are very good in blogging. They would like to see themselves in video. So they would like to see, since blogging in our country has become popular because of social media influencers, to also give them what are the proper ethics and ways and do's and don'ts of blogging in blog. Always, for the actual classroom activities, so if exposure trips, just like in the science classes, the classes is all about insects, plants. You could let them go out of the classroom and explore the school vicinity for some observation or experimentation process. Poetry analysis, build your own country. I use it during the time of maraming panlipunan or social studies. If you were a conqueror or an explorer, what will be the name of the country? What are the rules and regulations that you will impose? What will be the name of your country? What will be the name of its citizens? What are the rules and regulations if you were to be a leader of the country? Peer assessment, money bank, decision economics, in which if you're giving 1,000 pesos, how much will you save and where will you put it? In your business, in your luxuries, in your education. So students will be able to decide on their own. Doing research, Sabayang Bigkas, know what, learn, PBT, SWOT, analysis, to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Situational drawing. I used to always ask my students, if you were in the situation of this child, what will be your situation? You also have quiz bee, role playing, film showing, case study, invite an expert for the day, hat for the day. We'd like to let them design the hat. Newscasting, cartoon strip, word of the day. Every day I give my students economic terms for them to be aware. Just like inflation. Word, song composition, photography. Students are very good with their cell phone. Try to ask them to take a photo of your topic that has something to do with your lesson. So we'll create it. Interview, panel discussion, think per share, mock meeting, college meeting. Because we have this all in the headlines now. Many parents are prepared to homeschool children, just like what happened during the pandemic and the ongoing pandemic. Teachers read and explore Facebook use in education. So some teachers are using Facebook as a way of communicating to their students, and that's Facebook as what we call now Facebook education. These are the concepts with regards to learning. As a teacher, we should achieve quality learning achieve. How? Know your students' prior knowledge, students' perception. What is the type of teaching learning environment provided? Your knowledge as a teacher. Identify how the scores is selected and approach to learning. So generally, to achieve quality learning according to NESEL, McCune and Bunsel, it's a collaborative effort between the teacher, the parents, and the students. Because they are the center of everything that we do. To be successful online, according to John Saville in 2005, we should be vocal. How to be vocal, be visible, organized, caring, analytical, be a leader, for example. How? To be visible, make regular announcement for your students to see. Post discussion questions after the lesson. Facilitate conversation. Provide timely feedback and have a regular office hours. When say regular office hours, making sure that you will post this thing at this time. As the students will remember, students likes consistency. Students want routine. So making sure you post the activity at every 4 p.m. That if your class ends at 3 p.m., post it at 4 p.m. So students will be very excited to see that there's a regular time for them to see your activity. Communicates objectives and expectations, provides clear direction. Because students nowadays have some problem with comprehension. So your direction should be clear as much as possible. If they could not understand us, tell them how they could do it. Update the class about schedules, making sure that the instructions are clear and set up the learning materials in order. So just like I order my activity, written 1.1, 1.2 for the first quarter, the second quarter 2.2, 2.3, third quarter 3.2, 3.4, performance plus 1.2. So that's how I arrange my activities. Get to know the learner as a person. So try to ask them what are their experiences. You don't get to know the very personal details. Just let them feel that they are being accepted, loved, and cared upon inside the classroom. Make necessary adjustments and accommodations because not all learners could really finish the activity. So try to adjust. But tell them your time. When will they message you? because you also have your personal space. Do not let your time be invaded by people. Have your personal space. Dedicate time to check students online and offline. Schedule conferences with parents and guardians. Respond to queries in a timely manner. So that as much as possible, if the students message you at 10 p.m., you don't need to respond automatically. You need to sleep, rest, relax, and respond. Just say, uh, thank you for the message. Uh, you may tell the students kindly message during this time only because I have other personal things. Analytical. Ask the students for feedback, monitor and track students' progress, collects and implements assessment, and provide intervention. So you have seen the students have some problem answering, try to give them intervention, make adjustment to the course they improve it. Because every student is unique, every school year is unique, every activity is unique to the students, so they have different perceptions on how to answer it. In your mind, as an adult, you may be asking, why could they not understand? Because they are children. If you are around 25, 30, 30,